All right, guys. So apparently there was a January 6th rally in Washington, D.C. in support of those who are currently still being detained for what happened on January 6th. Now, guys, I had no clue that this was even a thing. I had no clue whatsoever, and I feel like I'm pretty in touch with what goes on in conservative circles. And again, I had no clue that this was a thing. Had no clue until the mainstream liberal media made it a thing. Well, I was like, oh, apparently there's a rally in DC this weekend, right? So numerous figures like Trump come out and basically say, look, people shouldn't go to this thing, right? Don't go to it. It's a setup, okay? It's gonna be a bunch of cops there. Don't go, okay? Basically saying what the mainstream liberal media you would think they would want Trump to say, which is don't go to this protest having to do with January 6th. You would think that the mainstream media would be happy about that. But leading up to this, they weren't, right? As Brian Seltzer seems to sound sad about the fact that Trump was saying the right thing. Take a look.
Well, we know that the MAGA media universe and figures like Donald Trump are not encouraging people to go to Saturday's rally at the Capitol. So that's a big difference from January 6th. In an interview with the right-wing website The Federalist, he said the rally on Saturday is a setup. He said to the website that it's a setup. So it's another example of a very different tone heading into Saturday. But what we also see online is a diffusion of the extreme and dangerous rhetoric that was seen before January 6th.
All right, guys. So yeah, the mainstream liberal media did not sound happy, right, about the fact that Trump was telling people, hey, don't go. And in my opinion, guys, in my mind, I don't even think he had to say that, because I'm sitting thinking like, yo, considering what happened after January 6th and what happened to anybody who got anywhere near the Capitol Internet building, anybody in their right mind will not show up to this event. They will not show up. Okay, you literally had your life ruined if you went anywhere near the Capitol that day. Okay, so with that being said, I didn't expect anybody to show up, and lo and behold, nobody showed up. In fact, there were more of a police presence there than actual protesters. Okay, and the protesters that were there look mighty suspicious. Like this picture right here, in which you got 3 or 4 lovely looking guys that are allegedly hardcore Trump supporters wearing no Trump gear, no right-wing gear whatsoever, no type of patriotic gear. It looks like they're wearing a combination of J. Crew and Abercrombie and Fitch. Okay, nothing suspicious about any of these guys. Nothing suspicious at all, right? Just 4 regular Trump supporters showing up to this rally. Okay, that's what it is, allegedly. So yeah, this thing was very tame for the most part. And that did not make the mainstream media happy, just like Brian Seltzer wasn't happy with Trump telling people not to go. As MSDNC, again, sounds like they're a little bit disappointed that they didn't get the fireworks that they had been hoping and praying for.
And Capitol Police arrested a man for a weapons violation, saying that he brought a long knife to the rally. Let's go to NBC's Ellison Barber, who's joining us from there. Ellison, I know the crowds are much smaller, but did they, for the most part, have they remained peaceful?
Yeah, I mean, by and large, they have. As you mentioned, there was that one individual who, according to Capitol Police, was arrested. He is facing a weapons charge. They say that he had a knife. We saw just a little while ago someone appear to be detained or at least surrounded and then escorted out of the area by Capitol Police in full riot gear. They sort of circled around this individual and then kind of backed out with them, taking them behind kind of the police barricade line, if you will. He didn't appear to be in handcuffs or anything of that nature, but that was one of a couple incidents we saw today. Apart from that, though, things really did seem by and large peaceful. This was not a huge event, right? When you look at what was expected, you can kind of see what is left of this rally right now, the stage being taken down as we speak. The permit for this rally was for 700 people. Our best guess is there were maybe about 200 people who appeared to be here for the rally. There are far more Capitol Police, D.C. police, other law enforcement officials here. There's much more fencing, a much bigger police crowd warranted.
All right, guys, so MSDNC, they sound sad too, right? They sound sad that is mostly peaceful, okay? Mostly peaceful. In the arrest that she was talking about, right? That one arrest that she was talking about in regards to the police surrounding a person, right? And kind of escorting them away behind police barriers. Apparently, that dude was undercover. Now, I'm not sure if it was the feds, right? Or if it was Capitol Police, but he was undercover. It looked like he had a badge. The cops asked him, "Are you undercover?" And he said, "I'm just here." And then they just escorted him away. So allegedly, we're out here using our resources, our limited and valuable resources, arresting undercover police officers and federal agents at a picnic. Out of the 3 or 4 arrests that were made that day, right? One of them was the feds, right? They out there arresting themselves. That's how irrelevant this event was. That's how irrelevant it was. I guarantee you probably had more people out there that were counter protesters than people that actually was there for the cause, right? You definitely had more police out there. So all the fear mongering for the mainstream media about this event ended up being for nothing. It ended up being for nothing. It ended up being an absolute embarrassment. And guys, this right here, this type of stuff, it really shows you how the media likes to create a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where they want to play up something, right, that really is nothing. Because again, anybody in their right mind would stay as far away as they can from anything having to do with that. Okay, if you want to, continue to have a normal life, that is, stay as far away as they can from that. So nobody's gonna show up, right? Obviously, nobody's showing up. But they played it up as a thing, right? They played it up as, see, guys, it's still going on. The insurrection is still happening, guys. We have proof. This event is proof. So I just found it hilarious, and I loved it when nobody showed up and the mainstream media still showed up anyways with that large police presence and fencing and all this type of stuff that really was unnecessary. 100% unnecessary. And guys, in my opinion, this just shows you how the media and their priorities are simply to bash a certain group of people in this country, to make a certain group of people in this country look bad instead of actually dealing with the real issues, right? Whether that's from the media or from the politicians. Because the politicians made sure that they had the presence needed just in case something happened to protect themselves, okay? And the media made sure that they was there to cover that story just in case something happened so that they can play up a certain narrative. But then when it comes down to what's going on at the border right now, which is a historic border crisis, we have tens of thousands of Haitians under a bridge trying to get into this country, right? We have an unmitigated disaster going on, a true disaster going on in this country. Mainstream media is nowhere to be found. Mainstream media is nowhere to be found. They don't want to cover it. They don't want to cover it except Fox News. Fox News is the only mainstream media company that's actually covering things that matter in this country, right? Things that actually matter. MSDNC, they ain't talking about it. CNN, they ain't talking about it. They don't even want to touch it. But they want to put all this money and resources into covering this fake rally. I don't even know if you can call it a rally. It looked like a picnic, to be quite honest with you. They want to put all this money into covering this picnic just in case they get the opportunity to get another January 6th, knowing that nobody was going to show up. Nobody in their right mind was going to that thing. Instead of covering a real disaster that we have at the border, the politicians put all the resources behind having Capitol Police show up to this event, putting up fencing, putting on this show, right? To try to act like this is some imminent threat, some danger to them. They put all those police resources there, but they can't get resources to help the Border Patrol agents at the border. These guys are overwhelmed, struggling, and overworked because they can't get resources from the federal government. But you can put resources into this. Also, on top of that, ain't it funny how you have all these Capitol Police resources for this little, again, picnic, okay? Because I really can't even call it a rally. It's a January 6th picnic. You got all the resources for this, but where were these resources in regards to the BLM and Antifa riots last year? The same riots that destroyed a lot of small businesses, that destroyed a lot of communities, that caused actual long-term damage to this country. Where were the police resources to stop that? Why didn't the politicians mobilize to stop those riots, to stop that violent threat? Ain't it funny how it works? Ain't it funny how it works? They can mobilize resources for things that they want to mobilize resources for. They can actually do the right thing for things that they want to do the right thing for. But when it comes to things that, don't fit the political narrative, all of a sudden they don't have resources anymore, right? Where were these resources, all these Capitol Police, on January 6th in the first place? Because if you had as much police presence there on January 6th as you had at this little picnic, January 6th would never happen. January 6th would never happen. So it seems to me the politicians are only capable of allocating resources to places that we don't need resources, which again explains why our federal budget is so bloated. Okay, explains why our position is in the country that it is in right now financially, because our politicians suck at allocating resources towards the right thing. And this right here kind of shows you. It's a prime example. So this was embarrassing. This whole thing was embarrassing. Between the liberal media and the politicians putting the resources to have all these police here, right, when you didn't really need it, when we have our southern border being overrun, it's an embarrassment. It shows you where their priorities are, guys. Their priorities are on politics, not protecting this country. And it's embarrassment. And it's a shame. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.